with the Knicks closing out the series against the Celtics and winning 4-2, I just want to take a look at some of my favorite plays from games 5 and 6 and what made them work really well. So let's get into it. The first play is from game 5, and the Knicks are just going to run this away stagger action. Stagger just meaning this double screen, and then Mikal has choices here. He can either come across both of the screens, he can reject the screen, or he can twirl in between the screens. Here, Mikal reads this wrong. If you watch Al Horford guarding him, Al Horford's kind of taking away the reject. So in this situation, because Al Horford's on Mikal's right side, Mikal should be taking the screen to either twirl or just go over the double screen. Instead, Mikal rejects it, which Al Horford is able to defend well because he's already in position. Then you're just going to go into this gut Chicago. And this gut Chicago is just basically Karl-Anthony Towns setting this down screen. And then Brunson coming up for this Chicago action, which is down screen into this handoff. Now, when you have both Brunson and Cat in the action, this is just really difficult to defend, right? Because Celtics' defensive strategy in this situation is to switch. So you're introducing some miscommunication that could happen with two of your best offensive players in Brunson and Towns, right? Here you're going to see exactly that. Both Brown and Drew Holiday go to Brunson for a split second, which leaves Cat wide open for this drive. Great pass by Hart, and then draws a foul. So that's what happens when you play through Hart as like the offensive hub. You introduce two strong offensive weapons as part of your action in Karl-Anthony Towns and Brunson, which causes that miscommunication. The next play is just a double drag, which is this double screen. First one by Mikal, second one by Hart. And the point of this play is to put both their bigs into actions. The Celtics scheme in this situation is a little bit more complicated because you're not just switching through. You don't want both bigs on Brunson so easily. So you're going to see Brown fight over both of these. He's already trailing the play from the first screen. The two bigs are in drop in position to help, but not switching over. Second screen by Hart, and then it just gives Brunson a lot of momentum heading downhill against the center. Right, so good finish by Brunson. But just introducing that double screen allows for Brunson to have a little bit more space. I really like this play. This is when when they're playing a two big lineup with Horford and Porzingis. You saw in the last play too with Mikal screening, which brings both bigs into the play. Here you're gonna see Porzingis on Mikal. This is a mismatch. Mikal is really good in the short roll. You're gonna see him set the screen and then open up and early short roll it. So then here, as Brunson gets through, no one's guarding Mikal because Porzingis just isn't really quick enough to play at the level and then get back to Mikal. You're going to see Horford on Cat. So Cat's dragging Horford out of the paint, which leaves the paint completely wide open. There's also a 5-out alignment, which allows a lot of space for this short roll by Mikal. Right, but also just taking advantage of a big on Mikal. A big really shouldn't be able to guard Mikal. Here, you're going to see a pick and roll by Hart, right? This is typically what you see by the Knicks a lot. When there's a center on Hart, Cornet's on Hart. Brunson takes this pick, gives it a Hart. Look at this quick decision making by Hart. He has nowhere to go here, so he's going to go straight into this handoff with Mikal. You see him kind of signal for Mikal to come over, right? And this is just a big on big lineup, right? Because they have Cornet and Horford. Horford shouldn't be guarding Mikal. Calls Mikal over for this handoff. They switch. Now Cornet's on Mikal, and then Mikal just takes it to the lane. Right? This is just easy basketball for Mikal. The Knicks should be exploring this a little bit more, honestly, in my opinion. But overall, just really good basketball. I like this play a lot. The one thing I want to note is when you have the double big with Horford and Cornet or Horford and Porzingis, and then they decide not to go double big on Hart and Mikal. Instead, they go big on Cat. So here you see Horford on Cat. I would like the Knicks to go to Cat pick and roll more, which you actually saw in Game 6. Not so much in Game 5, but this is still a really good play. So you have playing through Hart again as a hub, and you see Brunson just kind of head fake like he was supposed to get the ball off that screen, but if he doesn't get that screen, then it's just going to cut backdoor really fast. Great pass. Again, I would like Cat involved in actions whenever he has Horford on him, which is exactly what happened in Game 6. When Cat has a big on him, you want Cat to be aggressive, attacking, and that just happened from the first play of the game in Game 6, where Horford was matched up on Cat, and then Cat saw the big on him, and then immediately drove to get an and one. And the really cool part about this is this situational basketball, right? Because the big is not always on Cat. Sometimes it's Drew Holiday, sometimes it's Jaylen Brown. But when the big is on Cat, you want to go to some of these beaters, which is like trailing big, Cat pick and roll, and you're going to see it here where you see the step up screen from Cat. He sets this flat screen from Brunson really high, which gives Brunson a lot of space to operate. Here, also notice that there's a 5-out alignment. You have McHale, OG, McBride, and Cat. So there's just a lot of space, right? So as Brunson takes the screen and attacks Horford, the other big thing to note is Cat stays spaced out, which hasn't always happened when he runs these pick and rolls with Brunson. You always see him kind of like drift into the paint, start inching in to try to grab an offensive rebound. Whatever the case may be, he doesn't always stay spaced out, and you just saw it here in Game 6, which is really cool as well. And I think it's going to be really important in the Pacers series because he's going to see the Miles Turner assignment a lot. But staying spaced out helps, playing with his 5-out alignment helps. Brunson probably can take this layup, but he kicks it out of McHale for a wide open 3. Here's another play with that 5-out alignment. So here you're going to see Hauser send 2 to Brunson. And then there's no one in the paint as a rim protector as long as Cat stays spaced out, right? So even with this 5-out, as long as Cat stays as a spacer, and I know McHale's in the paint right now, but there's Peyton Pritchard, which not really a rim protector. With this OG cut, you're just going to get a wide open basket because of the spacing that you have, right? So just really nice to see this alignment as well, and then Cat stays spaced out. Now, last play on offense, that was really cool. So watch this sideline out of bounds. You're going to see Brunson get this ball, and you're going to see Mitch come to set the screen. Brunson's going to wave him off, right? So you see Brunson here telling Mitch to move because he wants to bring Cornette into the action. So now you're going to see Hart come up to set the screen. The other thing to notice here is OG in this position is getting ready to set this back screen for Mitch. So the play here is supposed to be a stack pick and roll or a Spain pick and roll, which is just Mitch is supposed to set the first screen, and then OG is supposed to set the screen on Jaylen Brown for Mitch. Once Hart gets called for the screen, you're going to see OG move away because OG's not going to set the Spain pick and roll anymore. Instead, Hart's just going to come up for this high screen for Brunson. The Celtics here do a good job of pre-switching. So you see Cornette telling Jaylen Brown to take Hart. So now Jaylen Brown's going to take Hart. And look at Mitch. Look at this awareness right now to immediately go straight back to the screen. Because he knows that Brunson wants Cornette in the action, you're going to see Mitch also come up to set the screen to bring Cornette into the action, which Hart's also going to tell Mitch, but Mitch is already there. So look at Hart. Hart's going to tell Mitch to come up, but Mitch is already on his way. Didn't really have to tell him at all. Mitch comes at the screen. And then look at OG too. OG was not going to set the Spain pick and roll because it was going to be Hart in the action. But now that OG notices that Mitch is back in the action, OG is also going to come back to run that original play that the Knicks were already deciding to run. So here, pick. This is the back screen from OG on Mitch's defender, the stack pick and roll, and then just a wide open layup for Brunson. So that's just really good situational basketball, really good awareness by everyone to understand what Brunson wants to run, and then getting that action to happen during the play, even though Celtics are doing a good job of pre-switching. Now, let's look at the Knicks defensively. We just talked about the Celtics pre-switching. Now watch this by the Knicks. There's just really good execution. So here's a screen by Porzingis. Knicks are going to switch this. So OG's going to guard Pritchard. Brunson's going to go on Porzingis, which is a mismatch. But then look at Cat, already motioning for Brunson. Great communication. And look at how fast this is executed. Switch. Everyone's back into their natural position. Great defense. Great individual defense by Cat. Right? Here, also pre-switching, but no one has the ball. This is just knowing that Drew Holiday is going to come up for a screen. And look at the communication between Brunson and McHale. Sure, this gets over already. Just a switch. Now McHale's on Jaylen Brown. No advantage. Great defense. Right, so everything just looks really crisp. Last thing I want to talk about is just this Mitch play. There's just such a ridiculous play. Mitch guards every single Celtic. So here, starts on Pritchard, goes to White, goes to Horford, goes to Drew Holiday, stops the drive, comes out to Jaylen Brown. That's a foul 2 years ago. Mitch has just gotten way better guarding the perimeter without fouling, and just one of the best defensive plays I've seen all season. So those are some of my favorite plays from games 5 and 6. It was great to see the Knicks win this. It was great to see the Knicks win the series. It's not a series that many people thought the Knicks could be competitive in. So it was great to see them execute at a high level and just play a different brand of basketball than they've been playing during the regular season, honestly. I'm excited to see what they look like against the Pacers. As always, if you like the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And I'm excited to do more of these. See you.